I spoke to him on the phone last night and I said, what about Wayne Harris? And he said he's one of the best jockeys in the land. And today I think he proved that. Wayne, many thanks on a great ride. I didn't think you were going to get there for a while, but Century Miss did the rest, and now it's history. We've won the Golden Slipper for 1979. Thank you very much indeed.
Mr. Cummings, who's reasonably well known here. Congratulations.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I feel terrific. I've had a few problems during the week, but this more than makes up for it. I must congratulate Wayne for his dedication to his profession. He's a wonderful young rider. I think in the future he'll probably be the tops in Australia. His efforts in the last 12 months have been quite remarkable, as has his ride been today. And I'd like to thank my old friends from South Australia for leasing this filly. It was pretty hard to get rid of her. No one much knew about Century or the mare, but I think from now on her sisters will be quite easy to lease. Thank you very much.
And Wayne Harris, congratulations.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Well, first of all, I'd just like the STC, thank the STC for putting this race on. Secondly, I'd like to thank the owners of Century Miss for giving me the ride, and also Mr. Cummings. And I'd like to thank Mr. Cummings especially for having the horse so fit, because no one could have done it better. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Mr. Bart Cummings is going to take the breeder's prize. I'll trust him to give it to the breeder.
Thank you, sir. Good luck, Malcolm. He's read by Oakbank Farm, a very good friend of mine, Malcolm Watkin, Adelaide. If you're watching, Malcolm, good luck. Thank you.
Well, a moving moment. I thought they all remain very calm and composed, but I would think inwardly it must be a magic, unforgettable moment to own, train or ride the winner of the Golden Slipper as we take this break.
The premature babies fight for survival. If it's born in the wrong town in Australia, the cards are really stacked against it. On 60 Minutes this week, the risks of premature birth. From Thailand, a story about the drug trade. For too many Australians, a one-way trip. As for high society, who's in it and who needs it anyway? A close look at Australia's beautiful people.
60 Minutes, proudly presented by BHP, the Big Australian, Sunday night 7:30 on 9.
Lady Scott is looking swell, and pretty flowers we know so well. Her striking style, in ribbons bright, in every way. She's always gay, and she's wrapped up her so soft, 'cause she's a lady Scott. Lady Scott, she's a lady Scott. Lady Scott.
Next Friday, as usual.
Toyota Land Cruiser. Once you've driven it, you're hooked.
Come on, darling, it's nappy time.
Oh, here. I've got a Johnson's nappy.
No thanks, Jen. I'm using the new ones now.
New ones?
These new extra dry Johnson's nappies. They're fantastic. Keep her even drier than before.
It's true. Johnson's patented nappy system now has an even drier liner, thicker padding, and a unique wetness trap that draws wetness away from the baby's skin. The new extra dry Johnson's nappy keeps baby even drier.
Happiness is an even dry bottom, right?
Father Fryer. Come in, what a night.
Hello, Tilly, just passing, saw your light on, thought we'd drop in.
For people who care enough to be prepared, Rosella has 8 really interesting minute meals, each with a tasty difference.
We don't eat much, you know.
Okay, let's check the full result and the TAB dividends on the Golden Slipper. 9, 2 and 16. Sweet Habit was third. Century Miss, $3.10 and $1.20. Dawn Command, $1.80. And Sweet Habit hanging on tenaciously to get third, paid $6 even. The extra double, incidentally, 15 and 9. Manicato and Century Miss paid $9.80. And for the records, Stage Hit was the official fourth, and the official fifth was Stars Grace. The Quinella on the slipper was $19.40, the on-course Quinella. The Victorian tab dividends on the slipper, Century Miss down there paid $2.85 and $1. Dawn Command $1.65 and Sweet Habit $5.10. I forgot to give you the time on the slipper. It was 1:10.7, which is 7/10 outside Luskin Star's race record, and Kauru Prince holds the course record at 1:09.5, and the winning margin better than most people ever imagined, ahead 3/4 of a length between second and third. Now race 5 in Melbourne, 9, 10 and 8, Sovereign Blaze 4:30 and 1:40, Bellucci $1.80, and Prince Solero was third, paid $2.10. Brisbane race 4, number 1 I'm a Shadow, $1.80 and 80. Number 6, Custom Made, 80 cents. And number 5, the ex-Sydney sider, Boulder Dam, was third and paid $1.90. Well, the slipper is over for another year, but we've still got 3 action-packed events to bring you in Grandstand, and the 5th is the Harry Tancred Stakes, and Ken Callender previews that race.
First of all, John, I've got with me a fellow who's just earned $15,000 for about 1 minute and 10 seconds work. Wayne Harris. It's a lot of money, Wayne.
Sure is.
Wayne, your mum and dad will be watching you up at Muswellbrook?
I'd say so, yeah.
I think they'd be as excited as you.
I think so.
Wayne, you started from barrier 4. Was your plan to drop in behind?
Well, my plan was just jump out and see where I could be running. I didn't want to be too far back. I just wanted to have a nice run without getting bumped and just give every possible chance.
And did everything go to plan, say, from the start to the turn?
Well, not really. I was in a bit of a difficult position from about the turn on. A horse in front of me.
Well, here we are on the screen now, Wayne. Now there she is in the white cap with the stripes. She's back behind the main bunch looking for a run here, eh?
Yeah.
Now you sort of switch back to the inside a little there.
I just switched to the inside of a horse that was running about a little bit, and I just got a freak run and must have been just in time.
Well, you're not even in screen at the moment. Here Pompey looks like winning, then Dawn Command. Now you're just getting clear now as you go inside of Stage Hit, who's hung out badly.
That's right.
You're under the whip. Pretty vigorous effort, wasn't it? Even here, I didn't think she could quite make it, but you got there just in time, eh?
That's right.
Wayne, how many winners have you ridden for Mr. Cummings?
I think that might have been my first winner for Mr. Cummings, or my second. It hasn't been many, but...
When did you first ride for him?
Oh, it was only about three or 4 months ago. I had my first ride for him. Had a couple of rides for him, a few rides for him now, but nothing outstanding as yet.
Well, I think Century Miss is pretty outstanding.
That's for sure.
And the way he was talking after the race, I'm sure that won't be your last ride for the Bart Cummings stable.
I hope not.
Congratulations, Wayne. It was a great effort, and you're the youngest jockey to ever win the Golden Slipper Stakes.
Thank you.
That was Wayne Harris, the boy from Muswellbrook, the whiz kid. Nobody had heard of him 12 months ago, but now, and from here on, I'm sure he'll be on the lips of all racegoers throughout Australia.
Good on you, Ken. Thanks very much indeed. All right, the next event to attract our attention will be the Harry Tancred Stakes, to be run at standard weight for age. This was formerly known as the Tancred Cup and was once run under handicap conditions, but I think it's a much more realistic test under the weight for age scale. It carries $150,000 in prize money. The winner gets $93,000, and a great trophy. Second horse, $30,000, $15,000 to the third horse. $150,000 weight for age event, a $250,000 golden slipper on the one program here at Rose Hill is nothing short of frightening. R1, of course, winner of the last Melbourne Cup, will attract a lot of attention, although it's generally considered that he's not yet wound up, and he's expected to do a lot better in longer races over the AJC Carnival, which commences next Saturday, and the Sydney Cup, of course, a fortnight from today, will be his main go, R1. Anyway, we'll look more closely at the form for the Tancred Stakes after this important message.
Next Friday, as usual.
Toyota Land Cruiser. Once you've driven it, you're hooked.
At first, you may not be able to see the real difference between Exacto polyfleece wind cheaters and other cotton knit garments. But pretty soon it'll start to show. Here, and here, and here. Week after week, wash after wash, Exacto's new polyfleece wind cheater keeps on fitting. Exacto Polyfleece, the fit that won't wash out.
Who says cold power cleans and brightens better in cold water?
I do. Well, the boys' shorts, they're really grubby when they come home from school. They've been playing soccer, but I just pop them in the machine and put in the cold power. It really cleans them beautifully.
Better than other powders?
Oh, yes, much better.
But if I were to offer you these 2 packs of another leading powder for your cold power, would you swap?
No, I wouldn't.
You're convinced?
Absolutely.
You heard it. Cold power cleans and brightens better in cold water.
Have a look at these. Sheridan single bed continental quilts. Soft and snuggly. And I'm up to my ears in them. My mate Lenny snipped a heap from Timmy the Tea Leaf. We're selling them all over town for $50 a go. And Walton's do it again. They're selling Sheridan continental quilts for $30. A man can't make a dishonest living anymore. And what's more, they're selling them over the phone all this weekend. Sheridan continental quilts for $30 from Walton's. Crime does not pay.
Okay, the dividends on race 6 in Melbourne, the Victorian TAB dividends first. The winner, number 3, Nearest, paid $6.85 and $2.15. Number 1, the top weight, King of the Stars, was second, paid 85 cents. With number 5, Narenka, third, paid $1.75. That's $6.85 and $2.15 for Nearest. 85 cents King of the Stars and $1.75 the Narenka. And the X-Code Quinella paid $15.90. Right, the next race at Rose Hill is the richest weight for age race ever run in Sydney, the HE Tancred Stakes. And the South Australian 3-year-old Dulcify, who I do think will win, is all the rage in the betting. He's at a pretty short quote of 6-4 on the tote, and if you think that's a short price, he's even shorter in the betting ring at about 5-4. We go down the totes from the top. R1 is 14-1, Family of Man 12, Happy Union 12, Leonotis 20, Our Big Gamble 60, Tambura is at 100-1. Lefroy was a late scratching. North Fleet, Linda Jones's mount, is at 12-1. He's the likely pacemaker in the event. Shivari at 20-1. Stormy Rex from the Bart Cummings stable at 8s. Dulcify, a clear-cut favourite. 10-1 Hallberg, 33 Regimental Honours. And the second horse in the market is the Queensland filly Scomeld at 6-1. I think Scomeld is probably Dulcify's biggest danger, but the way this horse won the Rosehill Guineas last Saturday, by golly, I think he'll win again, and especially as this race is 400 metres longer, and that'll suit Dulcify right down to the ground.
And the numbers in Melbourne race 6 were...
Happy Union is the horse on your screen at the moment, and this New Zealand 6-year-old has never been better. If his recent Australian form is any criterion, He was very impressive in winning the Canterbury Centenary Cup on the 17th of March, and I think it's well worthwhile having a look at that in retrospect. And we pick the field up as they come around the turn in the Cup, where Raise Your Glass has been taken to the lead by Peter Cook. Lord Lex with the baldy face is gone, and it's Happy Union with New Zealand jockey P.D. Johnson throwing everything at him, inch by inch, wearing down Raise Your Glass, and he finished resolutely, Happy Union, to get up and score by a nose on the line to Raise Your Glass, and Lady Dignitas was a strong finishing third. That was run under handicap conditions. Happy Union carried 59 kilos that day. Under the weight for age scale today, he drops a half kilo, and he confirmed the form when he dead heated for second here last week in the Rawson Stakes behind Marceau. That too was a good effort. Now, there's a horse well known to Sydney racegoers now, North Fleet, following his great third in the Manion Cup last week. And North Fleet, this rather peculiarly marked grey horse by Kazakhstan, will have the services of lovely Linda Jones, trained by her husband Alan, and will carry 57 kilos, which means that Linda's going to have a fairly hefty lead bag under the saddle because she tips the scales at 46 kilos, pert and petite. Now, let's have a look at North Fleet finishing third in the Manion Cup last week when Linda Jones was under the public microscope. Every pair of eyes at Rose Hill were glued to her as she brought North Fleet off the rails from second place to make her challenge as they turned for home, and it was here that the crowd roared as Linda sent North Fleet up to take the lead from Bo Regis. Now, the ultimate winner, Mr. Bluebeard, is coming out quickly after the leaders. North Fleet just wasn't good enough. He was perfectly ridden, but he calls it a day. Mr. Bluebeard sweeps past him, so does Free Enterprise, but North Fleet is plugging on gamely in third place, and you'll notice that he finished a fair way in front of the fourth horse. North Fleet, I think, had an easier task last Saturday than he has today by the same token. This is a tougher field, but you can rest assured that no horse in the race will be better ridden, and there's Linda Jones being legged on board now by husband Alan, and she looks every bit as fit as North Fleet. Well, Dulcify, they're all talking about this great South Australian 3-year-old whose win in the Guineas last Saturday was staggering. He gave them a start and swept home with a great burst to win easily, and it's well worth having another look at this brilliant win. Dulcify to be ridden again by Brent Thompson, and here's the field turning into the straight where Manicato led from March to Glory. Champagne Boy the roughie has raced up on the outside, and the bookies cheered here as the 66-1 Pop stuck his head in front at the 200 metres mark. Now watch for Dulcify. He sprints home. Look at him come now on the outside in the black with the blue sleeves. He goes to them like they're tied to the fence. Scomeld in fourth place is also running home well, but it's all Dulcify, and he came away to beat Champagne Boy. Scomeld a good third, and close up in fourth position was Manicato. Dulcify ridden again today by Brent Thompson, and he's giving age to most of the opposition. He's a bay colt by Deasy's out of Sweet Candy and is trained by Colin Hayes and raced by W.H. Rigg, A. Malla and Mrs. B.D. Hayes. Back down to the mounting yard and Ken Callender.
Well, Colin Hayes just had $150,000 snatched out of his hand when Century Miss grabbed Dawn Command right on the line, but he's got a great chance now to pick up $93,000, or for his owners, with Dulcify. Are you confident, Colin?
Well, the 3-year-old does seem to have an edge these days in the weight for ages at this time of the year, Ken, and on his form in the Australian Cup and last week, I think he's entitled to be favoured, and I'm sure he'll run very well.
Colin, he's always given the impression as obviously his Victoria Derby win, that 2,400 metres is a lot more up his alley than the 2,000.
Yes, I didn't really think we'd beat Manicato last week at a mile and a quarter on this track, but when he did it, influenced me to run him today because I think it's a lovely lead-up race to the Derby, really.
Colin, you're also the proprietor of the Lindsay Park Stud, and you know a lot about the breeding angle of racing. This horse is out of a Todman mare. A lot of the Todman mares seem to be producing good stayers.
Yes, they are. My Good Man was an example last year, and he's out of a Wilkes mare, but then comes from a beautiful summertime mare that was the best in New Zealand. He's all stamina from his third generation back.
Colin, after the Derby, which is obviously going to be a next run after today on Easter Monday, are you still contemplating a Sydney Cup start?
Not really, no. I don't think so, Ken. I'm not anxious to test him at 2 Mile yet. There's so many other nice races. And then after this, there's the spring, and he's only a 3-year-old.
We can wait for Melbourne Cup, eh?
Right.
Thank you very much, Colin.
Fine.
That was Colin Hayes, the trainer of Dulcify, the Rosehill Guineas winner of last Saturday, and the short-priced favourite for the Tancred Stakes.
By golly, doesn't he know how to train a big race winner, Colin Hayes. There's a new camera angle. Looking back across towards the member stand and the public stand at Rose Hill, and still we haven't been able to obtain the official attendance figures. I do feel that the crowd may be slightly down on previous Golden Slippers, but we'll check it out later. OK, here's a break, and then back for the $150,000 Tancred Stakes.
Saturday, Channel 9 invites you to join 30 of the most fabulous, eye-catching young women in Australia at the 1979 Australian Beauty Pageant. A stunning night of glamour telecast live from the Perth Entertainment Centre, where one lucky beauty will be chosen to represent Australia in the Miss Universe contest. Special guest is reigning Miss Universe, Margaret Gardner of South Africa. The 1979 Australian Beauty Pageant, a Channel 9 special telecast live, Saturday, 9:30.
Thanks. Next Friday, as usual.
Toyota Land Cruiser. Once you've driven it, you're hooked.
Oh, darling, run to the shop and get Mummy another loaf of high five. And see if Mrs. James wants anything.
Okay.
Every week now he goes to the football with his dad. And every week they want a mountain of high five sandwiches. But I don't mind. Well, some blessed high five's a natural source of vitamins. It's high in protein.
And it has only 59 calories a slice.
Another fresh experience every day from Tip Top.
Oh, so they're having another party next door, are they?
Yep.
Lady Scott is looking swell, and pretty flowers we know so well. Striking, in ribbons bright, in every way. She's always gay, and she's wrapped up so soft, 'cause she's a lady. Lady Scott, she's a lady.
The 1979 Uralla Dine-Out book is now available. Dine-Out offers dinner for two, priced for one. 40 top restaurants combine to ensure that business and professional or just adventurous diners are all catered for. This year, with extra benefits, demand will exceed supply, so be early. You also have the chance to win 2 free trips to Europe, flying 747 Jumbo Jet from Melbourne to Amsterdam. Plus, over 100 cinema passes, discounts on rented cars, dining incentives interstate. Charge your Dine-Out subscription to Diners Club or bank card. So wine and dine with a choice of 40 top restaurants and partake in bonus offers, including the chance to win a trip and accommodation for two to the western coast of the United States and Honolulu. $500 spending money and other travel benefits through automatic membership in the Dine-Out Jet Setters Club. Send your name, address and cheque for $30 to Uralla Dine-Out, 10th floor, Wales Corner, 227 Collins Street. There's a limited offer, so hurry. Proceeds to Uralla Society.
Okay, the tab dividends in Melbourne, the New South Wales tab dividends on race 6 in Melbourne. The winner, number 3, Nearest, paid $5.70 and $1.90. Number 1, King of the Stars, was second, paid 90 cents. Number 5, Narenka, $1.70. That's $5.70 and $1.90 the winner. 90 cents for King of the Stars and $1.70 for Narenka. Well, Dulcify is still a clear-cut favourite on the TAB at 6-4. Incidentally, the TAB on the previous race, the Golden Slipper Stakes, held over $1 million. It just shows you. Dulcify's at 6-4, and if you think that's pretty short, he's firm from 5-4 to even money in the ring, so he might even pay a bit shorter than he's showing now. Going from the top, R1 is now out to 16-1, Family of Man 14, Happy Union 12, Leonatus 25, Our Big Gamble 66, Tambura any old price, Linda Jones's Mount North Fleet at 15, Shivari 14, Stormy Rex 9, the favourite at 6-4, Horberg at 10s, 33-1 Regimental Honour, and Scomeld has just tightened from 11-2 into 5-1, and she's second favourite to Dulcify.
The last couple moving up into the stalls now, and they're just about set for a start in the Harry Tancred Stakes. Scomeld actually the last to move in with a tape around the near fore fetlock joint, I notice, as she moves up into the gates. The others are facing squarely. A strong New Zealand representation here with Tambura, Our Big Gamble, Chivalry, Stalls open and they're away in the $150,000 weight for age event. Dulcify in the centre jump well. Our Big Gamble near the inside, one of the first out, and Northfleet quickly into stride. Linda Jones heading straight for the lead, and Northfleet got to the fence in front as they approached the judge. Leonotis second, Our Big Gamble third, Dulcify fourth, and up closer today. On the fence pulling a bit, Happy Union. Horberg on the outside of Chivary, about 2 lengths away. Family of Man inclined to pull a bit, followed by Regimental Honour, and then Scomeld and Tambura from Stormy Rex and R1 last as they leave the straight. Over the crossing now at the 1800 metres mark, and Linda went away in front with a nice lead on Northfleet. Opened up a break of about 4 on Our Big Gamble. Leonotis, Happy Union, a length and a half away, Dulcify, and then Chivary and Horberg, followed by Family of Man on the outside of Regimental Honour. Further back in the field is Scomeld at that stage, followed by Tambura, R1, and back at the tail of the field is Stormy Rex as they go by the 1600 metres mark, and sweeping into the back stretch, and Northfleet being rated beautifully in front by Linda Jones is bowling along beautifully. Northfleet led by about 3 on Our Big Gamble, 2 to Leonotis, a length to Happy Union, about 3 away as Dulcify on the outside of Chivary, a length and a half to Horberg, almost joined by Scomeld, and then Regimental Honour, followed by Family of Man. Well back in the field then Stormy Rex, and the last couple are R1 and Tambura. Up to the top turn towards the 1100, and Northfleet is the leader. Leonotis in second place on the outside of Our Big Gamble, about 2 and a half to Happy Union, who's now travelling well. Then Dulcify and Chivary together, followed by Scomeld and Horberg, Regimental Honour, Family of Man, and then Stormy Rex and R1 and the NZ at Tambura whip them in inside the 800 metres mark, and still Northfleet is the pilot. About 2 on Our Big Gamble. Leonotis third, now hard ridden, he wants to drop the bit. Happy Union on the fence has had a perfect run from Dulcify, Chivary, and then Horberg and Scomeld further back, Regimental Honour, then Stormy Rex, R1, Family of Man, and Tambura last, but it's a packing field on the corner, and Linda Jones first around the turn on Northfleet. Happy Union taken off the rail is closing on it quickly, and Chivary on the outside is coming with a big run. Then Our Big Gamble. Dulcify pulled to the extreme outside, taking a while to wind up, but now he's hitting top gear at the 200. Chivary went to the lead. Dulcify getting into second place. Scomeld running home well. Chivary the leader. Dulcify trying to get to him. Chivary holding Dulcify, and Chivary won the Tancred Stakes. Chivary beat Dulcify and Happy Union third. Then Our Big Gamble, Scomeld, R1 made up a ton of ground. From Regimental Honour, Northfleet weakened out of it from Tambura. Well back in the field, Horberg, Family of Man, Stormy Rex, and a bad last is Leonotis, who dropped the bit altogether at about the 800 metres mark. Number 9, Chivary, ridden by Roger Lang, is the winner of the Tancred Stakes. Number 9, Chivary, Roger Lang. The horse seemed to get a little lost to me in the last 80 or 90 metres. He had a tendency to run about. He just didn't seem to know where he was. But you've got to make those sort of excuses for visiting horses having their first look at Rose Hill. Surroundings must be strange to them. They take notice of things, and Chivary was having a good look about most of the way down the straight. He had his head turned towards the crowd, in fact, as they came down towards the 200, where he took the lead away from Northfleet. Happy Union was plugging on with Our Big Gamble. Dulcify tried desperately to get to him. Thompson went for the whip halfway down the straight, put it away again as Dulcify wasn't finding much under the whip. He rode him hands and heels to the line. Chivary, even though he had a tendency to drift out a little bit coming to the post, held him safely at bay and has won by about a length and a half. I think Dulcify will get second, just a breath in front of Happy Union. In fact, the numbers are now official, 9, 11 and 3. Number 9, Chivary on the TAB to pay $5.50 and $1.90. Number 11, Dulcify on the place tote to pay 70 cents. And number 3, Happy Union on the place tote to pay $1.70. Oh, gee, that's the horse I wanted to be on in the run, I must confess. Happy Union. He did pull a little bit down the straight the first time, but he settled beautifully from about the 1200 metres mark, got off the fence at the right time, loomed up to Northfleet, but he only plugged in the last bit. Chivary showed a good turn of dash for any stayer. He actually accelerated in the straight when he got to the lead, and he's...
On Saturday morning,